Hello everybody, and welcome to another reaction video. And today we are reacting to a band I have never heard of before. It's a band called Sorority Noise. Obviously, as usual, did myself a little bit of research, and I discovered that Sorority Noise are an American rock band from Hartford, Connecticut, formed in 2013, and was made up of members from other bands such as Old Grey, Prawn, Small Circle, and En Route. Now, in 2018, the band announced that it would be taking a hiatus due to their lead vocalist's mental health problems over allegations of sexual assault and rape of a guitarist from another band, or a friend of a guitarist of another band. These allegations have yet to be proven or settled, as far as I am aware. Either way, it's not a nice thing to have to deal with. But we'll move on from that. The track we're going to listen to is a track called No Halo. Tried to do a little bit of research for it, and I came up with a fair bit of information. It says No Halo is the first single off Sorority Noise's third album, You're Not As Blank As You Think. I don't know what the blank is supposed to mean. I don't know if that's just supposed to leave it up to interpretation, like it's not you're not as good as you think, you're not as bad as you think, or whatever. I'm not sure. But anyway, and the lead vocalist, Cameron Boucher, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, said in an interview, the song No Halo is the first single. I don't know if I've told anyone this. I was back home at my friend's house chilling, and I was like, I'm going to drive home. We were in my friend Sean's neighbourhood, but Sean had been dead for about a year, and I didn't remember this. And so I was like, I'm going to drive by Sean's house and stop by and say hi. As I drove to his house and then pulled up in front of it, I realised that he wasn't there. That's what the chorus of the song is about, and the whole song in general. I think I literally just sat in my car and wrote 90% of the lyrics right then and there. So, you know, it's quite a heavy subject for a song, and I think it's something that most people can relate to. You know, when a friend or a loved one passes away, you know, for a while afterwards, you actually forget that they're gone, and it's like your brain doesn't want to accept the fact that they're gone. So it's got quite a heavy subject matter to it. I'm not sure what style of music it is. It says they're a rock band. I don't know whether it's going to be heavy rock, light rock, prog rock. I don't know. We'll find out. So I think we'll just get straight on with the track. So it's No Halo by Sorority Noise.
myself, and honestly I'm a mess.
Uh, um, not sure what to make of this. It's very... I can't quite think of the word. I mean, stylistically, it sort of reminds me of things like maybe The Killers, other bands of that ilk. I can't think of any at the moment because it's not a genre of music I generally listen to. Is it Kaiser Chiefs, maybe? Possibly. It's got some quite interesting lines in there, although the song itself doesn't feel that emotional. I mean, the song starts out, last week I slept 8 hours total, I barely sleep. You know, eight hours total in a week is, you know, just god awful. I mean, they normally suggest you sleep 8 hours a night, not 8 hours a week. And he goes on, maybe that's why I've been weak, you know, because generally if you're tired, you're not going to be fully functional. There's a couple of lines there. God called you to fulfill a vacancy. I tried to see why it wasn't me. It's that age-old problem when a loved one dies. You're always thinking, why them? Why not me? Why didn't I get taken instead? You know, why couldn't they have had more time on this earth? Why couldn't I have been the one to go instead? It's a very common, very frequent thought process that goes through the minds of people that have lost someone that they love. It says, there, so I didn't show up at your funeral, but I showed up at your house. I didn't move a muscle, I was quiet as a mouse. And I swore I saw you in there, but I was looking at myself. Now, there's a little bit of a quote that goes with that first line, so I didn't show up at your funeral. It says, I wasn't able to attend any of Sean's services because I was on tour. I almost cancelled and bailed on the tour, but I knew he would have been so pissed at me if he knew that I stopped a tour halfway through just to go to his funeral. Not that I think that his funeral is dumb, but he would have thought it was dumb. Just knowing him as a person, he would have been like, no, you do you. But Cameron Boucher still feels like he should have been there. And then it goes to the, but I showed up at your house and I didn't move a muscle, I was quiet as a mouse. That's a reference to what I said right at the beginning of the video, where he drove up to his friend's house to go and say hi and then realised, you know, he's not there. And there was the last couple of lines, and it's like, I swore I saw you in there, but I was looking at myself. I swore I saw you in there. I think it's a common thing with people who lose loved ones. Occasionally they'll be out and about, like maybe in town or whatever, and they'll see someone who is the spitting image of that person that they've lost. I know I've done it before. You know, you sort of stop and look at someone and then you have to do a double take just to make sure it's not who you thought it was. And he goes, but I was looking at myself. Maybe that's a comparison of where he's seeing a lot of similarities between himself and his friend. Not sure. Then he goes on to the second verse. I'm placing bets against myself, and honestly, I'm a mess. Like a car engulfed in flames, I am a wreck. You know, obviously, he obviously really cared about his friend, and it's, you know, taken quite a toll on him. And then it goes, things I should have said through call or text. I've just really been so busy, and I regret. So he's thinking back about all the things he should have said to his friend, like how much he cares for his friend, how much he loved his friend, and, you know, how much the guy's friendship meant to him and stuff like that. And there's that bottom line that I've really been so busy and I regret. And that's another thing that a lot of people fall back on when they lose someone that they love. It's like, I should have said all of these things, but I was so busy with my life, I didn't spare the time to, you know, talk to you, and, you know, even over the simplest things. And, you know, I really regret not making more time for you and your friendship because I was so involved in what I was doing. And there's a couple of other lines there. Because if there's no rest for the wicked, I'm as evil as it gets. So he's basically, you know, if there's no rest for the wicked, then he's getting, like, absolutely no rest whatsoever, so he must be really, really evil. quite a good set of lines there, but we'll carry on and see how else the song goes, what else happens in the song. Okay, the song was a lot shorter than I anticipated. I didn't realise I'd listened to most of the song before I paused it. So that last verse there, if you can call it a verse or an outro or whatever you want to call it, it says, "So when you show up at my funeral, will you be wearing white or black? And I know the voice is in you, it's the energy I lack. So if there's a race to heaven, I will surely come in last. And if there is a race to heaven, I will always come in last." So when you show up at my funeral, will you be wearing white or black? Okay, that seems to be like an obvious comparison, because obviously when you go to a funeral wearing black, it's a sign of mourning, whereas white, not necessarily as funeral attire. White normally means, like, you know, peace and understanding. Maybe sort of like, will his friend be wearing white to, you know, say like, I forgive you for not making the time, I forgive you for not coming to my funeral, stuff like that, possibly, I don't know. And there's those last couple of lines, if there's a race to heaven, I will surely come in last. So it's like, obviously he thinks his friend is more worthy than him to get into heaven, and he does not think he is worthy at all to get in there. And, you know, if there is ever a chance that he's gonna make it to heaven, he's gonna be like the last person there, because, you know, everybody is more worthy than him. It was a nice song. The words and the lyrics were really nice, and, you know, they were very interestingly done. But the actual song itself didn't seem to portray the emotion of the song, if that makes any sense. I mean, I know people deal with things like this in very different ways, and having not heard any of their other music, I could be completely wrong. This might actually, excuse me, this might sound totally different to their usual stuff, but it is a beautiful song. I don't know, I just think there could have been a little more emotion in it. I will have to see if I can find any more of their stuff to listen to, so I can get a better overall understanding of the band, what they're about, and what their music is generally like. But we'll leave that as it is for the time being. If anybody would like to suggest a track for me to listen to, then please do so by all means. You can drop a comment in the comment section below, or you can message me on Facebook or Instagram. There are links to those in the description below. If you have suggested a song that hasn't turned up yet, rest assured it is coming. I have quite an expansive list going on at the moment, and every day I get more and more songs suggested to me, and the list is getting longer and longer and longer, so I will get to it eventually. It will just take me a little while. Also, Metalhead Reacts is a proud supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation. They are a British-based charity that are working towards putting an end to hate crimes and aiding victims of said hate crimes. You know, whether you're leading an alternative lifestyle, such as like the music you listen to, whether you're a punk, a goth, a metaler, or whatever it is, or you know, you might be a homosexual, you might have a different gender identity, you might have a different religion or anything like that. you know, there is no reason why you should be attacked, bullied, or threatened for the way you live your life. And this is what the Sophie Lancaster Foundation want to put an end to. They want to try and put an end to the hatred, the prejudice, the intolerance, the threats. You know, people are getting attacked on a regular basis, on a daily basis, just because the masses don't agree with their individual life choices, or, you know, the way that they lead their lives. And it's not their place to say whether it's right or wrong. I mean, as long as it's within the confines of the law, you should be able to live your life however you like. No one has the right to judge you and tell you it's wrong. So, you know, it's a charity that's very, very dear to my heart. I mean, I myself have been attacked many times before just because of the way I look, the way I dress, and the music I listen to, as have many of my friends, and I'm sure some of you out there also have. So, you know, if you want to find out more about the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, check the link in the description below, and show them some love. But we'll leave that video as it is. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.